Hello, everyone. What's going on? Welcome to another fun edition of First 15 Coach Cast. So, today's little subject is a matter I want to talk about. It's the use of data points and technical terms from a coach and what it probably means. So, uh, the past few years, what I've noticed is, and I started out this way to a point. So, this is not saying that someone's doomed and will never be a good coach. It's a sign of either lack of confidence or lack of experience or both. And so I'll just dive right into it. So first of all, I've noticed that there are a lot of coaches that are leaning very hard on data, and it's not the necessarily data that you're thinking of. Some A lot of times it's um, something as simple as like a functional movement screen, which has its place and serves well for beginner coaches that are still learning how to do assessments and stuff like that. At this point, I don't use the FMS. I did for a long time, and at this point, I'm just kind of like, I can tell what's going on with someone more often than not without using something like that. I don't need it as a rigid test regimen to understand what's going on with someone's body when they walk through the doors and want to start working with me. So, but still, there's a lot of coaches that maybe lack confidence or um, just are very inexperienced that lean on too many numbers. I've seen coaches that are they'll do an FMS, they'll do a body fat percentage, they'll do measurements, and unless you're talking about someone that's looking to get into bodybuilding, I don't see a ton of value in those 2 things, and then the FMS again, once you kind of figure out what it is that you're exactly looking for, you don't need a 1, 2, or a 3 to tell you if someone squats poorly and what adjustments you need to make. So there's that part. The other part is the technical terms, and, like, we're talking about, it's can be something as simple as lay prone, which most people understand. They know that means roll over and lay on your stomach. You can say lay on your stomach, guys. It's okay. Uh, Also, when you start getting into like, oh, there's this muscle back here, it's the popliteus. I honestly can tell you that none of the people you're working with, or very few of the people you work with, give a shit about what the hell that's called. They want to know how to make it not hurt or how to make it work for them. One of those two things. Okay. So when I hear and see coaches going too much towards data and leaning too much on technical terms, it tells me that they are inexperienced with their coaching, and it tells me that they are lacking confidence with their coaching. Now, sometimes it's both, which is really, really terrifying sometimes because oh, it means they're green at the very least, and at the worst, it means that they have been this way for a long time and haven't bothered to get better. So for me, if I see a coach and I'm pretty confident they haven't been in the game long, and I know that's what they're doing, you let them have the growing pains, but also I think there's something to be said about coaches that are been around the block for 5 plus years that can look back and try and maybe help move that person along a little faster than they were. I certainly wasn't fast to move off that stuff. First 3 4 years probably, I would say I was opening my mouth with too much technical jargon, and to my clients that withstood all that, thank you very much for bearing with me, and I apologize for that. But for me, I see that and I want to get that person out of that type of thing as fast as possible. So I do think that while it's on the coach to learn and to understand that the technical jargon means jack all to most people, uh, and that you don't need so many data points, and or you'll learn how to make those data points almost irrelevant. It can also be on other coaches and mentors to just pull them along out of that and be like, hey, listen, this is actually what you're looking for. Don't worry about a score of a 1, 2, or a 3 on anything. Just focus on these things. And really it becomes then the assessment becomes, what stuff can we do? What shit can you do? I wish I could call it that. Maybe one day I will. But that's really what it is. It's not a it's not a a judgment on whether someone's broken or not. That's a horrible way to go about it as well. So that's the other thing that the FMS can sometimes be subject to, is it can make someone feel like they're broken, and it's not really what we're going for most often. And if you need that as a selling point, then I advise you to find other ways to sell, because uh, you you have a person in front of you that is has decided that they want to get themselves going on their fitness journey, and it's your job to make them feel comfortable with that, not make them feel bad about themselves. So sorry, I went off on a little tangent there, but there's that. So in the end, we don't need the data points. Will become irrelevant almost, unless someone has specifically come to you with, I want to put on this much mass on my leg, or I want to lose this much body fat. Cool. If you are someone that needs to, you know, go to that length, then yes, that's needed. But there will become a point where we lean less on data and more on um, what we see with our own two eyes, which is one of the things I think the business will um, and the industry can be AI proof in a lot of ways, because what a robot sees and what I see are still two different things. And my experience and the data points that that robot has are not going to compute the same, and the conversation I have with the person is going to be a ton more valuable than you know some score from an FMS or any other assessment tool like that. And the other thing is, just drop the technical jargon. Nobody cares. Okay. And I was the first person that said, "Don't use the word tone." I was one of those people, and I've stopped. I don't care. I get what they mean, so who cares? You know, stop. Just no. They don't care. They want to know, how's this going to help them. Okay, is it strengthening their legs? Is it strengthening their upper body? Is it strengthening their back? Whatever it is, they want. That's all they want to know. They don't care about the muscles. You know, if someone's curious about a muscle, I'll tell them that this muscle here, and that's it. I'm not going to tell them what it does and what it's supposed to do and all that stuff. They don't care. They just want to know what's going on with that. And sometimes I will get a client that asks, "Hey, what is this muscle?" And I can tell them, "Awesome, you have that knowledge base somewhere in your brain. Keep it there, because there will be clients that ask." But you're not impressed. We're not impressing anybody by using technical jargon and going with all these anatomical terms. What I use for that the places I use that the most are with colleagues when we're talking about assessing an injury or assessing someone's ability to do certain things, or any of the litany of things it could be, because we understand each other and we know what's going on and we know what each other is saying very easily. The average person that walks in front of us doesn't care about that. They just want to know how they're going to get fit and what this is going to do for them. That's all, plain and simple. So, yes. So if you see a coach that is on to this stuff, try and help them along, or at least help them understand, why they're doing it, and they better have a good reason why. And if you are one of them, have a good reason why you're using so much data, and do your damnedest to drop the technical jargon. It's only going to help you connect with your clients better. So that's what I have today, friends. I appreciate everyone that hangs out around and listens to this for longer than 5 seconds. If you're one of them, awesome. Thank you very much. I'll try and be back again in a week or two. Thanks a lot, everyone.